Welcome to Bear Download at ChicagoTribune.com. I'm Rich Campbell along with Dan Wiederer. We're here at Hallis Hall as the Bears wrap up preparation for Thursday's preseason game against the Cleveland Browns. We even got the equipment bus. It's right behind the camera. You can probably hear it running. But Dan, roster spots up for grabs on Thursday night in Cleveland. And a lot of the focus of the Bears, offense at least, has been continuity. We know that only backup positions are up for grabs there. Safety's still an issue for the defense. What are you most looking forward to seeing on Thursday night?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting week because you hear all the time from coaches and GMs that it's a very difficult week for them because they have to make all these roster decisions and all these roster moves. Well, it's even harder for the players who have to sit there uncertain and really go into this as their last audition to try and make the team. For me right now, the biggest thing that I want to see on Thursday night in Cleveland is who's your return guy? You left last season with Devin Hester as your guy returning kicks and punts. You're heading toward the season opener with no clue now who's going to replace him. And so whether it's Chris Williams, whether it's Sonoris Perry, whether it's Michael Spurlock, whether they even give Santonio Holmes a look or two, it's a wide open competition right now and really an unsettling place to be if you're the Bears this close to the opener.
Yeah, right. Time really running out on them, and they only have one player on the roster right now, Michael Spurlock, who's returned punts in this exhibition season because they've already gotten rid of Eric Weems and Darius Renaud. So really not a lot of answers. I think the best solution for them would be is if Chris Williams shows that speed, but to this point, it's been hampered by the hamstring injury. We saw it on a catch and run, 73 yards for a touchdown in the opener, but still a lot of questions there. And I think also you get into Sonoris Perry, who sort of emerged this week as a candidate for that position because he's averaged 25 yards on his kickoff return attempts. Could he end up throwing this running back competition into flux?
Yeah, and Perry's a guy who's played well in coverage. He's a guy who's also had reps as a running back that have been pretty positive. The question is where do you go with your numbers crunch on that roster? You have Matt Forte, you have Tony Fiametta, you obviously have Kadeem Carey, a second-round pick, and Sean Drawn, who's been the number 2 back since camp opened. So how many running backs are you going to keep? That's sort of his hurdle that he's got to overcome here. Certainly a promising kid who's going to be a little anxious, a little eager this week to show what he's got.
Yeah, and I think defensively, we're looking at special teams, guys that can tackle, a player like Christian Jones, cornerback C.J. Wilson, free safety M.D. Jennings with Chris Conti suffering the concussion. These guys can make a positive impact. It's going to make an impression because the Bears haven't covered kicks well.
Yeah, and it's not a comfortable place to be on that bubble in the last week of preseason. And you look at, on Tuesday afternoon, a guy like Isaiah Fry, who played prominently last year, 16 games, 6 starts in the nickel, and he gets sent on his way because he couldn't stay healthy in August with a hamstring problem. It's a cruel business, and guys one day are part of your plans, the next day they're out on the street.
Yeah, and it's fun for us this week because for 3-4 months we've been dissecting this roster, really trying to figure out who's going to comprise this 53, and we finally get some answers. It'll be nice to walk out of Cleveland and even go into next week as the Bears get ready for the Bills with a sense of where this team is headed.
And it'll be nice to have a regular season game finally.
Yeah, exactly. That most importantly of all. All right, stay tuned to ChicagoTribune.com for updates all week. We'll be in Cleveland on Thursday. That'll do it for this edition of Bear Download.